Well, traffic police concerned over the growing number of unlicensed and uninsured cars on the streets. Even more startling is the number of vehicular hit-and-run accidents, which in some cases end fatally. Officials now sending a stern warning to motorists to obey the rules of the road. Our Desmond Sanders tells us more.
Traffic police seeing an alarming increase in hit-and-run accidents in the capital. Since the start of the year, there have been over 50 vehicular mishaps, a disturbing trend for traffic police.
We find this to be very alarming because some of the persons or the pedestrians that are involved have serious injuries. But we want to send a caution out to the pedestrian public that when there is no pedestrian crossing, you have to ascertain the way clear before crossing the street.
Head of the Police Force Traffic Division, Chief Superintendent David Lockhart, says most of these incidents are fueled by unlicensed and or uninsured motorists.
For what we know, for the vehicles that we are finding, we find that they were not insured, not licensed at the time, or the drivers don't have a driver's license. On Sunday past, we had an operation, and in that operation, we ticketed almost 200 persons. And I would tell you about 45% of those persons that were ticketed were unlicensed, uninsured vehicles.
Another factor contributing to hit-and-run accidents is pedestrian error.
It's not all the time that once a pedestrian is struck by the vehicle is at fault, because we do find cases where we have pedestrian error. And when we have pedestrian error, then that creates a problem because people feel that they don't get justice because they were hit and they have injuries. And as far as they're concerned, once I'm hit, the person with me should be at fault. But that is not always the case.
With the growing number of unsolved hit-and-run traffic accidents on the streets, Lockhart now making this appeal.
Desmond, somebody out there knows the vehicles that were used to perpetrate these accidents, and we can't emphasize enough that we need persons to come forward, not when it affects you only, but when it affects any human being. The hit and run is very high. We have a number of unsolved hit and run fatalities. We have 2 that I can recall right off, and then we had about 3 that was solved, that we found the drivers and those persons were put before the court. But those are very alarming to us because in the 2 cases that we are looking for, we can actually see the crash occurring. The problem is the cars are moving so fast we can't get an identification plate.
And motorists can expect more saturated patrols in the weeks and months ahead as traffic police try to curtail the growing number of traffic mishaps, with investigations continuing into that alleged hit-and-run accident on Bernard Road that left a teenager injured. Lockhart now making a passionate appeal to motorists to exercise safety on the streets. Desmond Sanders, ZNS Network News.